They paved over my pond without asking, so I made their entire subdivision lose access to their cars for an entire summer. When I bought this land almost 30 years ago, it came with a spring-fed pond near the property line. It wasn't just a patch of water, it was a legacy. My kids learned to fish there. My grandkids swam in it every July, and in the winters, it froze into a perfect little skating rink. Over time, I built a small dock, planted willows along the edge, and stocked it with trout. So, when I left for a month-long trip to visit my brother in Maine, the last thing I expected was for it to disappear. But when I returned, I couldn't believe my eyes. My pond was gone, completely filled in. In its place sat a brand new asphalt parking lot, fresh paint, perfectly spaced curbs, and even shiny new street lamps lined up like centuries. Bolted to my fence was a notice. Water hazard removed to expand subdivision parking for residents. Water hazard. That pond had been there for generations, decades before their cookie-cutter subdivision even existed. Their HOA had decided it was an eyesore and a liability, so without warning, they bulldozed it into nothing. I was livid. But anger alone doesn't fix anything. See, their subdivision had only one way in and one way out, a long Coldique road that connected directly to the county highway. And guess whose land that road was built on? Mine. When the subdivision went up, the developers struck a deal for a private easement, which allowed them to pave across the edge of my property. But here's the part they seemed to forget. I still owned the land beneath it, which meant I had every right to revoke their access. That Friday morning, I rented 2 backhoes, a dump truck, and a crew of guys who weren't afraid to work fast. By the time the sun set, I had carved a 10 ft wide trench straight across the subdivision entrance. 3 feet deep, reinforced with posts and fencing. No car, no truck, no moving van was crossing that barrier. Residents thought it was a construction mistake, but panic hit as cars got stranded. Kids missed school, deliveries halted, and emergency crews had to walk in their gear. On day 3, the HOA president stormed up my driveway, yelling about a blocked road. I just smiled and showed him my property. Deed, it clearly wasn't a public road. It was a private easement, my easement, and I terminated it. I filed a lawsuit for property damage, illegal demolition, and harming a spring-fed pond. I also called the local newspaper, who sent a photographer. By the weekend, everyone was buzzing about the car-free subdivision while I smiled proudly. Property values tanked, open houses were canceled, and buyers ditched the neighborhood. By mid-August, they wanted to negotiate, offering to fix my pond. I said no. I asked for $10,000 a month and a contract to protect my property forever. One missed payment and the trench would be back before sunrise. They signed immediately. They tried to erase my pond, but in the end, they wound up paying me just to use their own road. If you love this kind of justice, like and subscribe.